This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Before we get into the top story, a reminder about tomorrow. Ask a marketer how advertisers read the research. The upcoming webinar tomorrow, August 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, puts fresh research in front of people who buy media. That will include Right Side Up's Christina Rubino and Quo's Tony Murray joining Sounds Profitable's Tom Webster to work through the podcast Atlas. The Atlas is built from a survey of 5,061 U.S. consumers, focusing on how creator-based advertising performs across audio, video, social, and newsletters. From the buyer's chair, the two will sort which findings actually move a media plan, which are merely interesting, and how to make the case for podcast spend to people who do not follow podcasting. Registration link in today's show notes. You can grab your virtual seat now. Now for our top story, Spotify's Unskippable podcast ads. Plus, could they skip yours automatically? According to Pod News reporting, Spotify has begun selling its own unskippable podcast ads, spots that premium listeners cannot jump past, even with the standard 15-second skip, with examples surfacing in shows like The Journal. This comes a week after news of the company testing a skip ahead button that would automatically skip past commonly skipped segments like ad breaks, sponsorship segments, and intros with a single button push. Media lawyer Gordon Firemark warns that ad skipping does not just change the episode for the listener, it changes the value proposition for sponsors. And unlike YouTube, Spotify still pays third-party podcasters nothing for the reach it sells, leaving every network that leans on the platform to weigh what its ad impressions are really worth. Next up, only 10 top podcasts have video? Not so fast. A widely shared stat claimed that only 10 of the top 200 podcasts have video, and Amplifi Media's Stephen Goldstein argues that number badly undersells reality because it counted Apple Podcasts alone. His own tally finds 84% of Edison Research's U.S. top 50 now publish full episodes on video, along with 77% of Apple's top 100 and 66% of Apple's top 200. Just 6 shows in the top 50 genuinely stay audio only, most of them public radio staples like The Daily, This American Life, and Freakonomics Radio. Goldstein's point is that the industry is past debating whether or not top podcasts are going video. They already have. The real question is where video actually improves the show. Next up, diverse industries drive Aussie podcast ad spend growth in Q2 of 2026. Australia's podcast ad market is broadening well beyond the usual tech and finance buyers, according to the latest quarterly benchmark from ARN's iHeart and Magellan AI. Alcohol led the surge at 58% quarter-on-quarter and 44% year-on-year, with automotive up 36%, home goods up 35%, financial services up 35%, and travel up 25%. Airbnb topped the advertiser rankings ahead of Wise, Shopify, Intane Group, and Combank. News stayed the mostly ad-heavy genre at 6.49% ad load, and buyers still favored the 30-second ad spot, which made up 39% of detected ads, with mid-roll accounting for half of all placements. The spread of categories stands as continuing evidence podcasting has matured into a mainstream buy in the Australian market. Next up, creators increasingly want to be everywhere. The exclusivity drama. Scalable digs into a shift reshaping creator deals, where the biggest names no longer want to be locked into a single platform. Netflix is easing away from its exclusivity, with shows from Rhett and Link and Nick DiGiovanni now set to run on YouTube and Netflix at the same time. Hot Ones is reportedly in similar talks. Creators like Meat Eater and Scott Galloway are also launching free ad-supported or FAST channels on Amazon Prime Video and Roku, treating free as undervalued real estate. The stakes also high because audiences are now spending roughly 1.7 hours a day with creator content, about 26% of their digital video time, at a median viewer age of 21 against 61 for linear TV. And for our final top story, nobody signing these giant podcast deals expects to make the money back. This is by Steve Razies. The industry's eye-popping podcast guarantees were never meant to pencil out as ad plays. They work instead as subscriber acquisition campaigns for streaming platforms, which is why Jay Shetty's On Purpose renewal reportedly landed near $100 million over 3 years across Spotify and Netflix, and why competition has pushed top talent guarantees past $30 million a year. The catch for creators is that these deals expire, so podcasters who keep their IP can still be left holding valuable rights with no active distribution. Razies concludes the smartest talent will trade peak leverage for ownership of an operating business rather than chase the biggest check. As for the rest of the news, Podcast Movement has revealed the full speaker lineup for its NYC event on September 17th and 18th, with more than 80 sessions and leaders from Acast, NPR, Beehive, and Signal Hill Insights, plus a Sounds Profitable research presentation and the official IAB Podcast Upfront after party. Basis and Barometer enabled episode-level brand suitability ad targeting on podcasts, letting advertisers enforce suitability before the bid instead of leaning on blunt show-level blocks while keeping their reach. AudioStack advanced its agentic advertising leadership, pushing further into AI-driven automated ad creation and workflows. AdLarge has appointed industry veteran Nicole Layden as Vice President Brand Partnerships to accelerate its strategic brand partnerships. The Podcast Academy expanded the 2027 Ambies to 35 categories, adding Best Music Podcast and Episode of the Year, along with a new Listener's Choice vote for Podcast of the Year and Best Podcast Host. The Streaming Wars breaks down how Cineverse's acquisition spree drove a 175% revenue jump while squeezing margins as the company races to automate its Matchpoint platform and turn CTV ad tech, rights management, and licensing into profit. And finally, the Smarta podcast marked its 100th episode as host Sonia Marta rolled out a new slate of services. That does it for today's issue of The Download. Remember, there's a link in your show notes that'll take you to the episode post on our website, which has links to every article I just talked about. You can also subscribe to the newsletter version of the show to get it sent straight to your inbox and have every link at your beck and call. Today's issue was written and produced by myself, Brian Barletta, Molly DeMillier, and Tom Webster. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis, and we'll see you tomorrow.